Alright guys, what's up? Top of the morning to you. Having my coffee out here by the truck. Today we're going to talk about this Weldanpower, this Lincoln Electric Weldanpower 250 G9 Pro. Geez, that's a lot to say. We're going to get started with, we got it about 99% complete. Now, there's a couple things here and there that I need to do. Tweaks to the carburetor to tune it up. I'm still working with the automatic idle. It's being touchy. I don't even know that, you know, it works. But I think that's because I had the wrong air filter in there. So there's a few little things that I have to do. I've got leads coming this weekend. But I wanted to start a video to let you guys know that it's 99% there. So we're going to go over all the things that have been done and what needs to be done. Today we're going to start with the cover, guys. The cover is some kind of mixture of some plastic, rubbery substance. It doesn't seem like full rubber, you know, like maybe even a polyurethane type material. And then it's canvas on the outside. I got olive green. I got a little grommet set from Harbor Freight, super cheap. Put grommets in it in a couple places around here. I could have got a motorcycle cover. I could have got any cover, but my wife found this. I think she got like 3 or 4 yards for, I mean, the whole thing with the grommets and everything was like 15 bucks. And then, you know, I just wrapped it around. She really helped me cut it and stuff like that. We got a little bit extra just in case something rips through or something like that. We could patch it up. I got some resin. It's just to protect it from the rain when I'm not using it. It rains a lot here in Florida, so you know, people here, probably Seattle, have to get covers for their welders because, you know, the rain, and it goes in every direction here. It's not like it just rains down. It also rains up and sideways. So we just cover it, you know what I mean? A motorcycle cover would have done, but you guys know I like to do everything my way, so here it is. Now look, I've got it tied off with this poly rope. I got this poly rope because it's not like super easy to tie, but it's super easy to get untied. And it'll hold tight enough, man. I just don't, I don't want it sliding off, but I've got these on here too. You might say to yourself, oh, it's going to be a pain in the ass to take off. Well, yeah. It's going to be a 2-hour minimum. That's what it's going to cost you, like 160 bucks just to get that off there, because I got the buckets for the small jobs, right? So this one's going to be for bigger jobs. I'm going to go out and try to get some bigger jobs. You know, I was looking at one at this pumps place that I need to do, and I need a bigger machine to be able to do that. And the machine I had crapped out on me, so I had to take it back. I got this one started. So let's get into this, guys. Let's get into this a little bit. Let's get this cover off, and let me show you what I've done to this welder. Well, let me take you around and show you the cover first. So this is the front of the welder. So I've just got it wrapped around there, got it tied off in the back, wrapped around. Like I say, it's a canvas material that comes, but you can see the plastic. It's like 1 mil thick maybe. You know, it creases, it's some kind of plastic. But the canvas is cool. Got it tied off. It's ready to rock. So here we are, all done. Well, 99% of the way done. Now I've obviously painted it. It used to be Lincoln Electric red. I'll put a before picture up if I've got one. And then, you know, I just took it through, painted it. I'll show you that process either at the end of this video, or maybe I'll make a second video. I don't know, whatever. I guess I could do a second video so I have more content. Holy shit, that's a good idea, because this is probably gonna be a little long. I'm just gonna take you along and show you what I've actually done here. Maybe start it for you, show you that it runs, and then go through the process video. I got some leads coming this weekend. Yeah, so let me actually just take you around and show you everything that I did. Now, there's a couple things that I want to show you first of all before we get started. Okay guys, now this is just some cheap resin that I got from, I think it was Michael's. Now, normally I use a resin from Greenlight Surf Supply. Offline, they're the cheapest usually for epoxy resin to do what I want to do. Now everything's already set up in theirs. I'm not affiliate of theirs, or I'd be showing you their stuff. Hey, I bought this from Michael's. It's still over halfway full, and you guys have seen me do a bunch of stuff with it already. Now I painted this with just some mint spray paint from Walmart, and the brown is just brown from Walmart, and then I coated it with this resin from Michael's. Now this is decent for coating. I'm glad I had this, because the resin that I use to make skim boards and things like that is a UV blocking resin. So I got a solar panel up there. It might not have worked on that. But the reason I actually brought this out is because I want to tell you, and you'll see along the way, the awesomeness of just having resin around and being able to use it for all kinds of different things. It's good to keep something like this around just for different projects, just to seal up things, and you'll see what I mean when I take you around. But that's it. You know, I used a bunch of stuff on here. I put a new carburetor on it, new plugs, new this, new that. It was just cheap stuff from Amazon. That's nothing that I'm going to show you, because anybody can get it. Just read the reviews, see what works. Watch out for the fuel pumps. I'll show you that, because they leak. I had to tighten up the screws, and then it worked. But after I'd already ordered another one, so now I have a backup. Whatever. But all those are just no name. You know, I think the name of the carburetor was Djibouti or something. I don't know. Djibouti. Some generic brand, some white label brand. But all right, let me take you around this thing and show you what's up. All right, guys, let's take a walk around this thing. Obviously, Gillihan's Mobile Welding. Now I put that. I just spray painted it with some lettering I got from the Dollar Tree. Right, I wasn't even going to put it on there, but I saw this big, thick, you know, brown stripe, and I thought, man, it needs more mint green. God. I used a combination of thick tape and thinner tape, and, you know, just some 3D eyeball stuff. The hardest part, actually, of this whole thing, the whole entire thing, boom, boom, was trying to get the stripes lined up in this thing. And it looks good from back here, but kinda. Right, at certain angles. Oh man, there's different mess ups. Now obviously in the resin too, I didn't, you know, you could take a torch to it and get the bubbles out, stand with it for a while. I normally like using the resin. It's like a 40-minute setup time, like the longest that like a surf company has, but this stuff took like overnight, and I didn't want to stand with it, so it kind of ran a little bit. There's bubbles in it here and there, but this is for my welder out here. Now guys, this front part I'm still in the process of cleaning. I've sprayed stuff on it, scrubbed it off, sprayed stuff on it, scrubbed it off. It's just on there pretty thick. It's a lot better than it was. Obviously you can see different things on there now, but as long as I can see these numbers, I'm good to go. All right, now, and I haven't, I'm not gonna spray that. I'll probably spray the knobs and clean this up eventually, but I just wanted to get on the road, and you can see my little pattern back here. All right, so the exhaust, let me see if I can get this. Hold on, that's really white. There we go, that's better. Look, so it's a little dark over here, but the exhaust, I have a super high heat primer on there that was like, I got a AutoZone or something. It was like 3,000 degrees or some shit, right? And then I already had some high heat that was like 1,300 degrees. I didn't realize it was white, but then I got to looking at it and I was like, well, man, white goes good with mint. So all this stuff that you see that is white was black at one time. And this stuff will chip off. It's rubbed off. It's dirty already. This is chipping off. I mean, it's going to chip off. I'll just hit it up again, you know, later on down the road or whatnot. Maybe get some different color, mint color cables. You know, just do different things to it as I go. This is the start. But this white is obviously not going to be white very long on the exhaust. I mean, it's already turning yellow. It's getting, I think it's melted in some areas. Yeah, so that one's going to be rough. Now, I obviously changed the oil. I had to tighten up the exhaust a little bit. I've got a new carburetor I put on there. You guys saw that. I busted off the cap in the back so I could do the fuel air mixture and not just the idle that you see over there. The automatic idle is pretty iffy on it. This thing right here, it goes back and forth. It was surging, but I had the wrong air filter in there. I just had some foam in there, and it wasn't getting enough air. I just purchased the right air filter from Stens. I have a Stens oil filter. I don't know if they're any good, but it seems to be working. Now, when I purchased the carburetor, I think I have a video of you guys watching me put that on. The fuel pump, they're kind of shitty. You can see this one, it leaked. Then I tightened up the screws and it stopped leaking, but I had already ordered another one. Fuel filter was theirs too, so I don't know. It seems to be going through there. Obviously got paint on that. Now, you're probably wondering about the extension cord. Obviously wondering about the, you know, gas tank. It's sitting here with no gas in it. Don't look like you can put gas in it. So let me get around to that. Let me show you guys the top and everything. I want you to see these stripes, man. I love it. Mint green is my favorite. Mint green, yellow, brown, just really like a mustardy yellow, just real earthy colors. All right, I'll take you around this. I obviously put resin on everything. You can see some accumulated down here in the corner, right? I didn't sit with it very long. I even painted the gas cap brown. It's on there forever. It's resined. I was using the rust stuff to try to clean it out, but there were chips, big chips, especially where it had been dented in. There were big chips along that wall just coming out, and I thought, guys, I'm gonna end up spending, you know, having to get that pour 19 or whatever it is and spend $100 for this big old tank or more just to do all this stuff. So I found one. I decided to get a different tank. Well, the different tank that I found for $20 down in Fellsmere, well, it wasn't for this, and it wasn't going to fit right there. So let me show you what I did. All right, so moving around to the side, I found a gas tank, same color as the Lincoln welder. At least I did find that. But I decided not to paint it because it's hidden here in the, let's see if I got gas. I do have gas, a little gas in it. It's hidden here in the toolbox. Now, the only reason I decided to put it in the toolbox is because I found this gas tank. It holds the same amount. It's just flat and long. It's supposed to go on a generator. My buddy Damien found it for 20 bucks on Marketplace, and you know, threw the link my way and everything. And so I got this for 20 bucks. Had to drive out to Fellsmere. It was only like 10 miles maybe, but it works pretty good. I got you can see the hose. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Now we'll light it up, and you can see the gas hose going down there. I got a siphon because I've got a gas can right here, and it's huge, man, and I hate pulling it out. I'll fill that up at the pump and then fill this up at the pump, and then I've got this siphon that I can just pump it from here to there, and I don't have to get it out. I got it running out, and then it's running out the side of the toolbox into this conduit. Now the conduit is just a freaking PVC pipe, and it was the white one. If you know anything about that, I mean, the sun would eat it up in 2 days. So I covered it with electrical tape, covered it in resin. Another time when the resin came through, and then I had some just sponge sitting here, and I didn't feel like fucking with that hole, so I just got that full of resin and shoved it in that hole, and it worked. Got some resin on the bed of the truck. That'll protect it. This is one of those I don't care situations, right? This is a work truck, and the resin's not going to do anything but help. Anyway, I've got the gas line running under where the battery's at, and then around, and you can see it's coming up right there, and it works. And it's up higher too, so it's gravity fed as well. Now, you also see another wire. You can't see it there, but if you look right there, you see another wire right there. Now that's running over there. In this area, there's a starter up here, and then the ground. So I actually have, you can see the clamp right there. I have the positive and the negative from my solar panel run through there with that and over to that right there. And then take note of the green extension cord that is also hooked to negative and positive, and I'll show you what that's for. But let's take a look at this solar panel. It's mounted up on the toolbox. All right, here we are. Now this is the little $14, $15 solar panel I was telling you about. I got from, ooh, look, it's bubbled up there, that I got from Harbor Freight. Now I don't think it's supposed to be out in the rain, but I sealed it up with resin. Another time when it came in handy. If it's blinking blue, it's working, it's charging. It's just 1.5 watt, but it'll keep that battery charged, right? So that's what we're doing. We're charging the battery with that, keeping it going. It's just compensating for when I'm not using it. You can see I got a little brush from little hair from the brush in there. Boys, I didn't give a shit. I was trying to get out of the sun that day. It was baking. Baked that shit on there. Obviously made it bubble up. But we'll just cover it again if we need to. No big deal. We'll get another one, put it on top of that if we need to. It's just one of those things, man. If you need another one, just go to Harbor Freight. All right, you guys can see there. Now, the extension cord. Let me tell you about the extension cord. The green one that's plugged in back there, also in the same spot. Of course, I put resin right there, tape around it. It's going around the positive and negative. This extension cord is actually the male end, and I've got it hooked up hot, and the hot wire is white inside the extension cord, and the when it's come to AC, the hot wire is white and the negative is black. So the white is hooked to the red on the DC over here, and the black is hooked to the negative, and there's both live on here. So that's why I've got it in foam, and you can see I've got this sealed up, rubber band around it, and also holding it up against the thing, because I don't want those live and touching anything, right? But what I'm going to do is I've got the other half of the extension cord, and I'm going to run it through. I'm going to run it through right here. Pop a hole right there, or I don't know what that is. Pop a hole right through there, run it inside, and then run it up over to where the controller is that controls the winch that opens the side door, and then just have the female hanging here, right, somewhere, because when it rains, I used to do a lot of cable. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a drip loop, but a lot of times we'd have to run a drip loop down and up into the box, so that way the rain would go down and fall off the bottom of that cable. Well, it's the same thing with that. It'll fall off the bottom of that, and the reason why I put the female over here was so that way when it rains, it would just go down and not up in the... I realize it does rain upwards here in Florida, but hopefully it won't go up in there. Let's hear it start. I don't know what time it is. All right, it's 9:15. I can start it. It's loud as fuck, guys. And the people are saying, I've read on some areas, if you guys know, please let me know, but people are saying, let me turn this up so I can see. This idler control, right? It's got an automatic on this side, continuous. It doesn't seem to really change at all. Now, granted, I just put the air filter in it, the right one, and I was using foam, so it was kind of dense foam, so maybe it wasn't getting the proper amount of air, but the automatic idle, it never put it down to low idle. A lot of people say it's a switch, so I'm looking for a new switch on it. If anybody's got any ideas, or if that's not it. There's a few capacitors inside I might have to change. I'm going to be doing work to it as I go. Obviously replacing capacitors, or at least running a capacitor alongside the old capacitor. So that's it for now. Let me start it up for you. All right, don't forget to turn the gas on, boys. Doo-doo. This thing's a little finicky. Like I say, it's old. I've got to replace a few things. So sometimes the starter button, I don't know if it's a switch or what. Like the way I got it started, I actually went to start it after I got everything done, and it didn't do shit. And I thought, man, is this a dead battery or what? So I charged the battery all the way up. Had the cover off, and I mean, I'd clean the cables and everything, and nothing was working. I just reached back there and kind of wiggled the cables, and then it worked. So right by where the switch is. So I'm gonna have to get in there and do some work. So we're gonna see if it will be finicky today, because sometimes the button don't work and I kind of have to like wait for a second, toggle the switch a few times. So we're gonna see how lucky we are today if we win the lottery. Let's do this. All right, flipping the switch on, pulling the choke. Alright guys, I'm going to tell you something right now. With that right air filter in there, I don't know what I was blocking off or what, but, well, I'll show you the piece of foam I had in there. I had the, you know, obviously the carb open right there, and I had a couple of these pieces stacked up with the holes, but it was blocking other things inside there. But I got it started that way, and I went and got the right air filter, and I'll show you that. Alright guys. This is the right air filter, and this is also a Stens. I got a Stens, look, there's a little glue on there. I got a little Stens oil filter and the air filter. Right, I don't work for them, but man, they had the right size. Now look, I went to somewhere here in town for the air filter, and I was like, I showed him, he came out and looked at it and everything. I was like, it goes in this area, it's round, right? So we go and look, and he can't find it with wicks or anything. He said he hadn't sold one since like 1998. And he was looking it up. He's real helpful, place here in town. But he was like, here's the cross-reference number from the wicks. And this is why he couldn't find it. So I went home and I plugged in the cross-reference number to Amazon, and it was some weird triangle-shaped filter. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I need. So I just punched in filter for Onan P218. That's what kind of engine's on here. And this came up, and I cross-referenced it just to some other websites, like tractor websites that had it, and made sure the same size, and it worked. And it goes right in here, boom, falls right into place. It's the right size, and now this thing purrs like a freaking kitten. You heard it. It sounds great, guys. I'm ready to weld. Let's see if it'll weld. Or actually, look, I need some more content, don't I? So the next video is going to be if this thing welds. So this is 99% complete. The next one's going to be, will it weld? Does it even weld, Jerry? And then we're going to go to the process, which will be a long video, just me painting it and doing all the shit. If you want to watch that one, it'll be separate. See, guys, I care about you. I care about you. Anyway, so you got to see it. You got to hear it. It runs. It's on. Whiz up to men. ABC, BBD. All right, check this out, actually. All right, let me turn this. How do I turn it? I forgot to show you guys the electrode area. This left one goes to the ground to work, and then the right one to the electrode. Now it was just bolts in there, and I'm not doing that every damn time. Obviously, nobody wants to do that. So I got these connections off Amazon. I don't know, just some random place. I think they were like 15 bucks, maybe. I don't know. I think it's the only one on there. But they work pretty good. 3550. I'm going to use 3550 1-gauge cable for my needs. But I'm excited, man. That thing, the air filter really came in handy. Oh yeah, let me show you the inside there, so you can see what I mean when I say it was round, that little round area. See, I was covering up that back there and that little one in the middle, and it obviously needs that. I'm not a mechanic, but And I don't know what it's for, but it needs it. All right, guys, so it purrs, man. It's ready to rock. We're going to see if it welds next. See ya tomorrow.